everybody. It's almost 4 o'clock. We're going to just hang here until everybody gets on. Is anybody on yet? You can type in on the bottom of your screen there. If you have any questions throughout this cooking demo, please feel free to ask anything you'd like. We're going to have some fun this afternoon. I don't know what it's like where you live, but here in the Chicagoland area, it is an awesomely beautiful day out. It's sunny. It's pretty warm. I went outside to walk after lunch and I had on a big winter coat. By the time I got home, I was carrying the coat home because it was hot. That sun was beating down and it sure felt good. Got some vitamin D on my face and on my arms, so it felt really good. So we have about 5 more minutes, so we'll just hang here. I'll let you know that I decided to add one more thing to the demo today, because who doesn't need dessert on a Friday night? So we're going to make a really simple, healthy dessert in my Vitamix blender, which is really easy to use. You sort of need a high-powered blender to make this though, so that's one of the appliances that we're going to use over here today that I use on a very regular basis. And it's got a little lid here, and it's got a little top, but what we're going to do today is we're going to use what they call the plunger. And this thing goes right into the Vitamix, so when we're making some of our dishes, we're actually going to be able to mix it with this, and it won't touch the blade, of course, so it's very safe. Just looking around the kitchen here before we get started too, these are some of the other tools that I love to use all the time. This is my old food processor. It's very old, but it's still working, so we're going to keep it until she dies. But you make a lot of good plant-based recipes in your food processor. And of course, here's my Instant Pot. This is one of these tools that if you're in a hurry, if you're working, you don't have time, you can throw things in here and basically walk away from it, and it'll be done when you're ready to eat it. So we make our oatmeal in this every morning. Actually, Dale makes the oatmeal, right, Dale?
That's right.
Tell them how you make it.
You put in 3 cups of almond milk, 1 cup of oats that are steel-cut oats. Right. Thank you. You put it on for 3 minutes. You just close the top and walk away.
Right.
And you wait until it shows about 20, the number 20 on the readout.
Yeah, so it has to come down. The steam comes down. So it cooks it a little bit more after it reaches the 3 minutes, and then it starts to count up for the steam let down. Yeah, so we eat about 15, 20 minutes afterwards. We'll have it for breakfast every day. Let's see how we're doing on time. 3 more minutes. Just trying to think if there's anything else. Anything else important in this kitchen to show you that we use? Oh, I know what we could show them. Who wants to see a nut bag? Not me. This. So one of my demos that I'll probably do next week using this Vitamix is I'm going to show you how I make my own almond milk at home. Now, why, you say, do I go to the trouble of making my own almond milk? Well, let me tell you. When you get these store-bought milks, they're plant milks, but they have a lot of preservatives, some of them do, and additives in them, and some may have oil in them, and so I don't use oil in my cooking, as you know, and so I like to make my own almond milk because it's really simple and it's pure. And actually, Dale makes the almond milk too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
You want to tell them a little bit how you do that?
Well, you soak the almonds for about 6 hours. You strain them and wash them off. You then place the almonds in the Vitamix. You put in initially 6 cups of water, a splash of vanilla, and 6 pitted dates. You want to make sure they're pitted. And then
medjool dates. Those are
medjool dates, yes. And then you put the Vitamix on and you get it all going at high speed. You do that for about, I'd say, 3 or 4 minutes. And then you put the contents in the nut bag.
In a bowl first.
Yes, you put the nut bag in a bowl, and then you pour the contents into the nut bag, and you squeeze it. It's almost like milking a cow, is the way I would describe it. And you have to be a little patient because it takes a while. And I should add, you add 1 more cup of water after you finish because the Vitamix will only accommodate 6 cups of water. If you put in 7 cups initially, it'll overflow. So you want to remember to put an extra cup of water when you're done.
Right. I'm just looking at the clock. We've got 1 minute to go. So that'll be next week. Now I'm going to take a little break after next week because Dale and I, believe it or not, are moving. We're in an apartment. We've been living here about 8 months now. Sold our house in Lincolnshire, and we're building a new home, which is ready. Perfect timing, right during the COVID virus crisis, we have to move. So I'll be taking a little break, but looking forward to doing it. So I think we're about ready to get started, Dale?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say? Okay.
Yep. Got several people on. Karen Cornick,
Hey, Karen.
Michelle Rose, Carol West.
Wait, let me say hi. Michelle, hello. How are you? I miss you. Carol West, how are you?
Karen's on.
Right. I said
And your granddaughter and son are on.
Hey, Michael. Hi, Aubrey. How are you? Hey, Aubrey, I want you to pay good attention because maybe you can make this with your mom and dad at home since you're spending a lot of time at home these days. And tell your brother to get in too because we're going to be making some dessert that I know you guys have had before that we make, but it's going to be a little different. I'll give you a hint. Banana ice cream, but even better. So get your brother in here to watch too. All right, we're going to get started. It's 4 o'clock. So the first thing that we're going to make today is called barbecued seitan ribs. Now, I don't know about you, but I love barbecue. Before I went plant-based, I ate a lot of barbecue. Barbecued chicken, what else? That kind of stuff. But now I'm going to show you how to make it without any animal products. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take this product, which is called Vital Wheat Gluten. Now you might be wondering, what the heck is Vital Wheat Gluten? Well, Vital Wheat Gluten is made from the protein found in wheat flour. And it's washed off until all the starch granules have been removed, and then leaving just the gluten. And then it's dried and ground into a powder, so it sort of looks like flour, but it's just the gluten part of the wheat. So obviously, if you're gluten-free, this would not be a dish for you. The next thing we're going to put in this big bowl are 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, which I've measured out. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, followed by 2 teaspoons of onion powder. And finally, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, all of these recipes are on my site, so you'll be able to access them right after this demo. I'm just going to give it a little stir to mix everything up, because we're going to be adding things to this. Okay, that looked pretty mixed up? I would say so. Okay, let me set that aside. Now I'm going to bring over step 2. I've got in this little bowl 3/4 cups of water, and I've added 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Now I use peanut butter that is not full of other things. So usually at Whole Foods, I'll just get it out of their peanut butter machine and it's just peanuts. They don't have it anymore because of the virus, so I had to buy peanut butter. But this is a natural peanut butter, just nuts and a little salt. I don't like having the salt, but I have no choice. So you see, I'm sort of just mixing it up real good. And then when I've got it sort of mixed up, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke. I'm sure that most of you know what that is, but in case you don't, here's a picture of it. And then I also add 1 tablespoon of Bragg's liquid aminos. This is used instead of soy sauce. This is a nice substitute that you can use. So we're going to add this into our mixture with the peanut butter and water. Then I'm going to mix this into our floury bowl here. I'm going to just throw this in. And watch what happens. This is what this Vital Wheat Gluten does. It's going to form like sort of a pasty paste. See how it's sort of coming together? There we go. See, Aubrey and Ethan, my grandkids, you guys can do this. This is simple. I know that Ethan, my grandson, knows how to make the almond milk because he often, when he was little, would say, "Grandma, when are we going to milk the almonds?" Remember that, Ethan? It was fun. And now Aubrey's big enough to do that too, because she's 5 now. Okay, now my hands have been washed thoroughly, and now what I need to do is just knead this for about 2 minutes. So I'm going to look at my clock. When it's 4:06, it'll be ready. And just so you know, this has to bake in the oven, but guess what I did? I decided to go ahead and make another batch so you can see what it looks like already. Dale and my dinner plates are already filled with food, so you'll see what this looks like. So while I'm talking for a few minutes, while I'm kneading, I just want to tell you about something that PB&M is going to be doing, hopefully on June 27th. Now I'm being very optimistic because nobody knows, how long we'll have to be isolated from each other. But we're going to either do it this summer or later in the summer if it doesn't work in June or next year. So Plant-Based Nutrition Movement, of which I'm on the board of directors, we are partnering with an awesome organization called Shape Up Us, led by a wonderful, dynamic person out in Arizona. And she runs a program called Young Lions Ninja Warrior Course. It's an obstacle course. We're going to be at the DuPage County Fairgrounds on June 27th from 9 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. And PB&M is responsible for all the children's activities, the entertainment, food demos, and let's see, what else are we going to be doing? I think that's it, yeah. So I'm sort of reaching out to people on Facebook today because we certainly need some donations to do the food demos. So if you are interested in helping us do that, please go to pbnm.org and you can set, there's a donation button and we will use it for that. Do you have a question?
Yeah, we have a question from Michelle Rose.
Yes.
Can you knead this in a food processor?
No, Michelle, you really just have to do it for 2 minutes with your hands. You have to be very gentle with it. I think that would be too much pressure for it. Okay. Anyway, getting back to the Young Lions Ninja Warrior obstacle course, we are looking for plant-based restaurants who would like to sell their wares at one of our tables. Breakfast and lunch will be served. We're looking for entertainers. We need dance schools in the DuPage County area, people to come out and be on stage for 20 minutes. For a $250 donation, you're going to be filmed by professional photographers. You can use it as advertising for your school. We're looking for musicians, maybe kids yoga teachers, anybody that wants 20 minutes on the stage for $250. We also are looking for people who do balloon twisting and face painting. So if you know anybody who does that, please have them get in touch with me. All right. So thank you for letting me give that little plug in for our next activity. Okay, it is ready. So this is what I'm going to do. I've got a baking sheet here lined with parchment paper, and I'm going to take my Seitan and I'm going to plop it down. And I'm just going to stretch it out like this. It says to put it in an 8x8 pan when you make this, but this is so much easier. And I just like that it gets it a little thinner. All right, so I've got it shaped sort of like a rectangle, and I'm just going to score it. I'm going to take a knife, and I'm going to cut a few scores throughout the Seitan. There we go. All right, then I'm going to come back and score it this way, so you're going to have small pieces. Now, all you have to do, once this is done, is throw this into an oven at, I believe it is 350 degrees. We'll put it in the oven, but I'm just going to pretend we're putting it in the oven. I've already made it. And I'll show you what it looks like, because you add your barbecue sauce after 25 minutes. You go ahead and you put about a half a cup of barbecue sauce that's sort of healthy, so look around. Don't get a lot of corn syrup in your barbecue sauce. This one is okay. I love the bone-sucking barbecue sauce the best, but they were sold out of that. Okay, so that's done. And then you flip it in another 10 minutes, and then it's done. And then you just eat it. So I'll show you what that looks like when we're all done. Okay, let me just throw these in here. Wash my hands, because I've got a lot of gluten on my hands now. See right there? Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a Caesar salad dressing. Now, I said I was going to make a Caesar salad, but I realized that I had already made salad from last night. So let me show you what we made. And Judy Bryan, if you're watching, this is like a garbage salad that you want to put together, whatever you have in the refrigerator. So I have romaine lettuce, I have arugula in here, I have red cabbage, tomatoes, carrots, and even some black olives. So we're just going to use this. Traditionally, the Caesar salad is just made with romaine lettuce. but this is going to be, it's fine. You can use anything you want for this dressing. So come on over here, and I'll show you how we make this delicious Caesar salad dressing. I don't know if my good friend Carrie Banks from Vermont is on yet, but Carrie made this for us when we were on our plant-based vacation. We had 4 couples who go away together once a year to cook together and have fun. So she made this for us, and we were making it all the time. This is all you have to do. I took 2/3 cups of raw almonds, and I soaked them for about 6 hours today. So they're nice and soft now. And I just throw them into the Vitamix, along with a 1/4 cup of soy milk, any kind of plant milk, some water. Where's my water? Whoops, there it is. Put that in there. So we have to put in a 1/4 cup of water. We may need a little more water because sometimes it gets a little thick. We're going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of capers and a teaspoon of garlic that I chopped up. We're going to add some Dijon mustard and Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to have to get a little spatula to pour this in. I pre-measured stuff so you wouldn't have to just watch me measuring things. Okay, that should work. And last but not least, we're going to add in garlic powder. And that's a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then freshly ground black pepper. See how easy that is? That takes like no time at all. Okay, now I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. I'm going to try to do it with just this lid on. Let's see if this will get it going. Sorry for the noise. If you don't like loud noises, close your ears now. That's it, folks. I don't know if you can see it, but that's what it looks like. See how thick? It's nice and thick. There you go. So let's go over here, and I'm just going to put it into the salad. Just take a little bit. I don't think we need the whole thing. We'll save the rest for another time. Let me see if that's enough. It looks like plenty. And just take your spoons, your salad tongs, and just mix it in. Do you like this dressing, Dale?
Love it. It's really good.
Yeah. And you won't miss the standard American diet, forgetting the name of it now, Caesar salad dressing. You won't miss it. This is delicious. Isn't that beautiful? Take a look at that.
Delicious.
Okay, what I'm going to do, if you'll back up, Dale, I'm just going to get it ready over here because we're going to show you our whole dinner in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this into the bowl so we'll be ready for our salad. And we love salad. We eat a lot of greens and lettuce and vegetables. So we're going to eat this whole thing, believe me. And we could probably eat more, but this is what we had left over from last night. It's always good to make a lot of salad and like fruit salads and just have them in the fridge ready to go. So when you're hungry, you don't have to think about what you're going to make. It's already ready for you. Perfect. Okay, there we go. 2 beautiful Caesar salads. Now, let's just put this away because we need to use our Vitamix to make a little dessert here. So I'm going to borrow, could you hand me that little plunger there, that thing? Thank you.
Spatula.
Spatula, it's not a plunger. Okay, let me just put this away. You can put this in the fridge and then just use it when you want it. It lasts a good while. It won't last more than a day in our house. We have a little visitor here. Our cat Chloe decided to come and see what I was doing and to have some food.
She never misses a meal.
Never. Hi, Chloe. Chloe, do you know you're on Facebook Live? Do you care? No. Okay. Let me just wash this out so we can get to the next and final dish. So what we're going to do, and I hope you can hear me with the water going, I've taken some frozen fruits that I had in my freezer. I had some frozen mangoes. I had some frozen blueberries. I had some strawberries in the refrigerator, just fresh strawberries, a few left, and some frozen bananas. And we're going to make what I like to call a fruit nice cream. It's not ice cream because it's not dairy, but we're going to use some of my homemade almond milk in it to give it a nice, smooth texture. So let me just make sure I've got all the Caesar salad dressing out of this thing, because I don't think that would taste too good with the nice cream we're going to make. So let me just wipe that off. Okay, let me grab my almond milk. So this is what the almond milk looks like that Dale makes for me whenever I say, hey Dale, could you go milk those almonds? There it is. All right, let's come back over here. And we'll put this down here. So here's the fruit. You can see my mangoes, blueberries, and frozen bananas, and a little bit of strawberries. I'm going to throw it into the Vitamix. Whoops, I lost a couple blueberries. Hold on. Throw those out. I'm eating those. Just wipe that up because I don't want to step on them. Give me 1 second. Okay, all done. All right. So what I do is I'll take a little bit of almond milk, just a little, because you want to do this slowly. You don't want it to get too soupy. So just throw a little bit in. And then I'll come back over here. And now we are going to use, I have to rinse this out 1 second. We're going to use that plunger I was telling you about so that we can mix this really well. Okay, here we go. Oh, one more thing you might want to add in is a little splash of vanilla. Everything tastes better with a little splash of vanilla. There we go. All right, anybody have any questions while we're getting this ready to go?
Well, Holly asked how we make the almond milk. Is it worth, we can mention that again.
We're going to do that next week. That's going to be our demo. We talked about it 5 minutes before we started. So if you can hold tight, we're going to do that next week.
Right.
And it might be on it's on the,
yeah,
it's on the beginning of this Facebook Live.
It's very easy.
Yeah, go
very
back
easy.
And look at it. You'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Again, close your ears. That's it. Okay, now let me show you how pretty this is and what else we're going to do to make this a really special dessert tonight. So I'll just use this because I think my other one is dirty. So take a look at the consistency of that. Can you see? That is just like having ice cream, but this is healthy. It's going to keep you well. It's got fruit, just fruit and almond milk. So we're going to put this in a bowl. There we go. I think we got one chunk of banana in there, but we'll let that go. Okay, a little bit more. You can have a chunk of banana in yours. How's that do?
Sounds good.
Okay, one more, and then we'll save the rest for another day. And then, to top it off, to make it fancy, we're going to use some cacao nibs. Now this is just raw cacao beans that are into these little teeny little shapes. So let's just drop a few on top. Ooh, that's pretty. Isn't that a beautiful dessert? And you know, if you had like a fresh strawberry, you could throw it on top, make it really fancy. So that's it. So before we go, I want to show you what our Seitan looks like when it's all finished. Is there a question?
We have a question.
Sure.
Carol West was asking whether you could use peanut butter in lieu of almond butter for the Seitan.
You can use, yes, I used peanut butter, but you can use almond butter. You can also use tahini. So if you don't want to use a nut butter at all, just use some tahini. And some people don't use anything. They just omit the nut butter and the tahini. I've tried it. It's not quite as delicious, but it's okay. So if you don't want to add that in, you can.
Karen Cornick commented that the cacao nibs have lots of antioxidants. That's worth mentioning.
Thank you, Karen. You're so right. So we need to eat as many antioxidants as we can, especially during this time, right?
And Michelle asked where can you get the cacao nibs?
So I found some at Trader Joe's. You can find them in most grocery stores now, but Trader Joe's and Whole Foods for sure have them. So let me show you what our dinner looks like. Okay, so we're having roasted sweet potatoes, kale, and here's our barbecued seitan ribs. And as you can see, we have leftovers too, so we'll have seconds.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long is right. So I just want to thank everybody for coming to our cooking demo today. It's so nice to be with you. Although we're not physically together, I feel your presence, and I just hope and pray that you're all well and keeping safe. And we'll be back next week. So have a good evening. Bye-bye.